Well, with that brief introduction, I'd now like to move forward to our first invited speaker from Malaysia. We have the honor of inviting someone who is trying to move the industry into a very different dimension. Many of you have heard about 3D printing, where you can print prototypes in your backyard, in your workshop at home. But now, we like to look at how 3D printing as a technology can be adopted and how robotics can be put in place to actually print houses, low-rise houses for now, but the potential to grow is definitely there. Mr. Azman Aziz, CEO of Kabina from Malaysia, has been working on this for a number of years. He was one of my keynote 2 years ago when we were running a virtual event. And given that now we are coming together physically, it just gives me great pleasure to welcome him back on stage to tell us more about some of the work that he's doing. So, Mr. Azman Aziz, please. Thank you. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oliver, for that warm welcome. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good? All right. First of all, my name is Azman Aziz. I am the co-founder and CEO of AIBotics from Malaysia. And today I'll be speaking about 3D construction printing, or 3D CP. Now, so I hope you guys are ready for the future of construction, because, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future of construction. Now, let's just look at the market of the additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing is, of course, the scientific term of 3D printing. And if you look in the ASEAN market, we are led by Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand at the moment, and we can see that the graph is growing rapidly when it comes to the additive manufacturing market for the past couple of years, and it's still going on as we speak today, and it's booming. And that's why I think it's not just the right time, but we need to move on from the conventional method to a more sophisticated method, which is the 3D printing as we are speaking today. Now, who are we? Now, AIBotics is, of course, we are the first company to bring 3D printing in Malaysia, and we are a proud partner to Cobot International. So Cobot is our principal partner, the one that manufactures the 3D printing technology, and we bring those technology in Malaysia, and currently we are their exclusive distributor for Malaysia and Singapore. And for the past 1 year, we have the printers for ourselves, and we have done a lot of research and R&D with it, and alhamdulillah, we have managed to come out with a series of recipes, especially when it comes to materials, and we intend to develop those technology here as well in Singapore. And of course, AIBotics also not just partner for Cobot, but we also have our partners around the globe, and Cobot, of course, has just opened their Asia Pacific regional office in Malaysia recently with us, and they also have their office in America, in Miami, and also their headquarters is in Copenhagen, of course, in Denmark, where they are. And they're opening their Middle East office very soon in Dubai, as we speak. And for your information, Cobot has sold almost to 70 systems, or their printers, across the globe. Now, this is, of course, the most amount of printers sold in the market today by Cobot. And they are moving very fast with this, because they started in 2017, where they've printed the first 3D printed home in Europe. And 6 years later now, their footprints are all over the globe, and have sold, like I mentioned, almost 70 printers as of date. And you might ask me, why Cobot? I'm sure you heard of other brands as well that are producing this 3D printing technology. But I think why we chose Cobot, one of the reasons is because of the partners that they are with and the clients that utilize their technology. For example, Perry, not just they purchase the technology from Cobot, but later down the line, they also become part of Cobalt. They bought shares of Cobalt, and Perry today is their minority shareholder. And as you might know, Perry is the biggest supplier of formwork. And you might question why Perry invested in Cobalt, because Cobalt is actually trying to bring something different and also eliminating formwork usage. So why does Perry do this? So because it shows that Perry is also addressing this new technology, and they believe in this technology and the future of construction, and that's why I think they are today part of Cobalt to bring this new technology in the market. And of course, there's so many other partners, such as GE Electric. We have JGC in Japan, and MR Group in Dubai, and many others that have been established their relationship with Cobalt. And some of the other reasons why we chose Cobalt is because one of the most important elements is that more than 99% of material use can be locally sourced for Cobalt. Now, for other brands such as Icon, if you heard of Icon, we need to utilize their material in order to make the printer work. So, for example, if you bought their printers, then you need to buy their so-called ink, printers and ink. So we have to buy their materials in order for them to work. But for Cobalt's case, we don't have to. So wherever you are, for example, if you're in Malaysia, you purchase the printer, you bring the printer to Malaysia, so you can utilize the materials locally to make it work. So it makes economical sense that way, rather than you have to purchase materials from other nations. And Cobalt also have developed the fastest printer in the market today, which is the Bot 2. And they have experience in large-scale 3D printing development across the globe with their partners. And of course, they provide a very wonderful assurance of technical support to their clients. Now, what is 3D construction printing? I'm sure most of you have seen videos, pictures of companies printing housing as of late. So this is the typical setup of our system, or Cobalt system. This is the Bot 2. You can see the printer in the middle. And it's a gantry system. It's a modular design with modules. And also you can see on the right side, you can see the batching plant, the cement silo, and also the pump, which comes together with the whole package of the printer. Yeah, so you can see this is how we configure it. So this is the typical setup. So basically, it's a modular design. You can expand the modules if you want. So the bigger the printer is, of course, the bigger the printing layout, depending on your project and development size. So you probably requires bigger printer if the development project is bigger, for example, a bigger housing layout. And you can actually access this Cobalt configuration on our website to actually see whether it fits to your development projects. Now, there's two types of printer. The first one is concrete printer. The other one is mortar. The difference is basically, let's go with mortar first. So mortar is, of course, much easier. And also, the finishing will be more, I would say, beautiful because it does not have aggregates in it. But the drawback is, of course, the cost. It's quite pricey. And as for concrete printer, we have the batch plant, and of course, it's bigger in size, and we have the cement silo. And also, we include aggregate in it and much stronger strength as compared to mortar. And it's, of course, much cheaper, as compared to mortar. So these are the two types of printer that we have, and this is what's available in the market in the moment. And of course, it depends on what are the types of development that you're looking for. And this is the typical 3DCP process flow for our system. We can start by preparing the architectural drawing. So as easy as we can utilize any software design, whether it's Revit, whether it's AutoCAD, or whatever system that you want to come out with your architectural drawing. And later on, the process, we will pass those drawing into our Cobalt slicer, we call it, a Cobalt slicer, where we're going to actually slice those architectural drawing. And through our cobalt slicer, you can actually look into what are the printing speed. You can look in terms of how much materials is required in the system, and you can also read how long does it take to print based on the slicer. And after that it's done, when you're on site, what they do is that the slicer will later on bring those information to the printer, and then the batch plant will basically mix the materials that you have decided, and then will bring those materials to the pump, and the pump will definitely pump the materials through the concrete hose to the printer, and they will print the desired drawings that you have decided for your project. So it's very seamless. Now, these are some of the benefits of 3D construction printing that most of you might have heard before. One of it is, of course, speed. This is, I think, everywhere we see is about speed when it comes to 3D CP technology, and reduction of costs, because we will depend much lesser with labor. So it's much, much less labor intensive with the technology. And of course, digitalization with IR 4.0 vision, where the construction industry now are more automated. Another beauty thing is, of course, flexibility in design, where we are no longer bounded with angular design when it comes to construction. So it is very flexible. You can come up with whatever designs for 3D printing, and reduce wastage because of everything now is automated, and we can calculate basically the amount of materials used. And mobility, definitely, as our printer is modular design, and it's very easy to assemble and disassemble the printer. And from our experience, when we first got the printer, it took us about 2 days to assemble and disassemble the printer. But as we get a hang of it, once you have larger experience with the printer, it can go down to 7 hours to assemble and disassemble the printer. So it goes back to how experienced your team is in handling the technology. What we have done so far? So look, that is basically our first 3D printed home in Malaysia, where we printed it last year. It is about 1,400 square feet. And 100% locally sourced materials. And the total R&D cost and also the construction cost combined is about 160,000 ringgit. Now, this is, of course, the first time we are doing this. And for a 1,400 square feet home, I mean, of course, 160,000 is not that significant. But you have to take into consideration that this is our first time with a printer, and also includes R&D costs. So everything, the complete build-up, that is the cost for the first 3D printed home in Malaysia. But of course, we are looking into reducing the cost much, much further once we get the hang of it with the technology. And this is where we are currently located, our competency center in Malaysia, in Selangor, Subang Jaya, Selangor, where our Cobots Asia Pacific office is. And we have our competency center to actually train interested partners or interested clients. And also we do a lot of R&Ds and demo prints in our competency center. And we are also currently exploring precast solutions that I will explain a little bit later after this. Now, the application of this 3D CP. We can use it on site, which is how we normally market it, where we bring the printer on site and print whatever structure that you have in mind. But the other application of the printer is, of course, off-site printing, where I mentioned just now the precast solution, where we actually print it somewhere in a warehouse, and then you transport those precast solutions on site. So the current limitation of our IBS system is, of course, the cost of transportation and also the molding cost. So with 3D CP technology, we aim to eradicate or remove those limitations. So by bringing the printer near to the site that you probably would like to build something, and then we print it there and assemble it on site. So same goes with the molding. So there's no longer molding costs, because everything is digitalized, and we can plan it digitally on the computer. And the design are flexible, as I mentioned much earlier. So these are the two types of application of the technology, not just on-site, but also off-site application moving forward. And this is some of other concrete structures that are able to be printed by our technology. For example, these are the tanks and storage for liquid that we have printed before. And this is the case for General Electric, where they printed the wind turbine base. And for information, General Electric has the biggest printer of Cobot's version, and we call it the Cobot XL, which have the height of 25 meter. So this is basically the biggest printer that Cobot has ever produced for GE Electric for their wind turbine projects. And of course, we are also exploring 3D printed, what do you call that? This is the furnitures, yeah, the furnitures and also unmanned structures. So as you can see, the application of 3D printing is not limited to housing. It's also for other unmanned structures as well that we can explore moving forward. And as for KABINA, of course, we have worked with CIDB and also JKR, the regulatory bodies in Malaysia. And as of date, we have been received almost to 90 plus developers and also contractors seeking to know more about the technology. And we are working also with a few universities to come up with more R&Ds to ensure that this technology is market ready. And as for Cobot, of course, I mentioned just now, they are available across the globe, and they have big names alongside with them to further promote the technology around the globe. And as of recent development for Cobot, for example, this BuildTech technology recently, what they do in Oman is that they managed to print 3 buildings in 8 days. So you can imagine, in 8 days, they managed to print this a cafe, a public toilet, a fisherman house, including mobilizing the printer, meaning shifting the printer, and assembly and disassembly the printer in 8 days. So this is the recent success of Cobot's printer. And also in Saudi Arabia, they managed to print a 3-story unit, a villa, recently, Dar Arkan. And Nidus 3D, this is in Canada. They are also exploring precast solutions, like I mentioned just now, not just on-site, but also off-site, where the print, it is off-site, and then they bring the precast solutions on-site. So these are some of the examples globally that are happening today. And you guys might ask, how about the commercial mass-scale projects? You guys are talking about a single project. What about a mass-scale project? Right now, ICON is also utilizing 3D CP technology to print a mass-scale projects in the US. That is about close to 100 units. At the moment, they are being built. And for HTL Tech in UK, this is actually utilizing Cobot's printer. They are already in the final stages of planning to print 46 homes in the UK. So to put into context, at the moment, 3CP technology is already being widely accepted, and they are moving into mass-scale projects already. So when it comes to the future, of course, Cobot being the principal partner, they are coming out with more new features and automated upgrades for their printers. At the moment, it's Bot 2. Of course, moving forward, they'll be coming out with newer versions of the printer. And in terms of materials, we find out that 80% of structures still requires reinforcement. So that's why we are trying to come out with cheaper materials by having lower strength concrete, and also allowing additional reinforcement to be mixed with our new materials recipes. So such as kanaf, we are exploring kanaf, and also other filler materials that are available abundantly. So we are trying to explore more potential for the materials to get it more cheaper. And of course, the second is we're talking about RMC, integrated solution for 3D CP. This is also something that we are exploring, and Cobot is exploring. And I think we can see a very positive outcome if we can get RMC integrated solution for 3D printing, which will make it much more easier for the market. Now, maybe I can share a little bit what KAB now offer to you. For the first one is we have two frontiers. The first one is introductory purchase. So for this frontier, just exclusively for BTA, we provide 5 to 10% price reduction with extra components on us with the purchase of a complete set printer. This offer valid March till May. And the second frontier is, of course, training and demo prints. So we provide 2 days crash course with practical training and also 10 days cohesive program scheduled by our experts. So it includes designing, slicing, operating the printer, batching plant, and also pump, and handling and producing workable materials, printing and coordination. So we provide all these things in our facility in Malaysia. Yeah? So feel free to come over and we can discuss on the services that we provide. So if you have additional questions, you guys can please drop by in our booth at C10 down there for us to entertain your questions. So once again, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to transform the construction industry by promoting 3D CP technology. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.